When Arsenal signed Declan Rice in the summer, a lot of heads were turned, eyebrows were raised. Why would Declan Rice go to another London team? Why would Declan Rice reject the likes of Bayern Munich and Man City to go to Arsenal? And why would Arsenal pay £105 million for a player that has never played in the Champions League? It just didn't make sense to a lot of people. And at the time, I must admit, I really loved the signing. I thought £105 million, all things considered, is a good price to pay for Declan Rice, and I have been proven right. Declan Rice, since his arrival at Arsenal, has proven to be one of the best midfielders in world football, one of the best holding midfielders, one of the best box-to-box midfielders, and the biggest video on my channel is me praising Declan Rice, praising the signing of Declan Rice, and explaining to you why I think Declan Rice is the best holding midfielder in the world. And in today's video, I want to touch on that again, except he's not only the best holding midfielder in the world, but he's one of the best box-to-box midfielders in the world. And the evolution of Declan Rice from being just a holding number 6 for West Ham to being the player he is today, a set-piece taker, a goal scorer on his day, an elite box-to-box midfielder, an elite holding midfielder. I want to talk about that evolution and how it's come about. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Gunner Central here. I hope you guys are all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, it's pretty obvious after that thrashing of West Ham where Arsenal won 6-0 in the London Stadium, it's pretty obvious that there are going to be a lot of videos from me and other Arsenal creators praising different players from that game, and Declan Rice is certainly going to be no exception. But I don't just want to focus on their West Ham performance. As good as it was, and as good as he was against West Ham, arguably one of our best players. For me, I have Saka above him from that game, but he was right behind that. He scored an elite goal, and despite getting booed for most of the game, he still was very respectful with his celebration and just overall was very class about him scoring that goal. But I don't just want to talk about that game. I want to talk about how he's been all season long and stuff we've started to see more recently. In the beginning of the season, he was our number 6. Very obvious, especially with Thomas Partey out, he was our number 6 and he was elite at that. He played an elite role, controlled our tempo, helped the team to keep ticking on, and was overall just really impressive. Defensively, offensively, on the ball, off the ball. He controlled the team, he controlled the game, and he was, with no exaggeration, probably averaging 8 out of 10 performances game in and game out. From scoring last minute winners against United and Luton Town, Declan Rice has by far and away been one of the best CDMs in world football. And this may be a very biased statement, maybe a very reactionary statement, but I don't think there are better number 6s in the world right now other than Declan Rice. I hear Rodri shouts, but Rodri hasn't been playing every game for Man City, so I don't know how you can weigh that up. For me, Rodri and Declan Rice are the same level of a CDM, just world class. But the thing that has been the most impressive isn't just how good he has been as the number 6, as the holding midfielder, but his progression as a box-to-box midfielder. I've been saying this for the whole season that as good as I think Declan Rice is as a holding midfielder, for me his best position is when he's a box-to-box, kind of that Granit Xhaka 8 role. He is so good, he is quick enough, he is strong enough, physical enough, has a really high football IQ, is a hard worker, good on the ball, good off the ball. For me, his best position as a player for Arsenal is the box-to-box midfield role, and we've been seeing that a lot more recently. I mean, you look at that Liverpool game where we destroyed Liverpool, beating them 3-1. They only had 2 shots on target or 1 shot on target the whole game. You look at that performance from Declan Rice. He wasn't playing a CDM role, he was playing that box-to-box role. Jorginho sat in behind him, and Declan Rice probably had one of his better performances of the season against Liverpool in that box-to-box role. It allows him to have his stamp on the game, it allows him to keep having the ball around his feet, it allows him to win the ball high up, to press high up, as we know Arsenal like to do, and that best suits Declan Rice to push the ball, press them high up. And then if they do get past the first line of pressing, Declan Rice works more than hard enough to get back and defend deep with the other CDM, which will be Jorginho, it'll be Thomas Partey, it'll be whoever you like. Declan Rice, for me, his best position is a box-to-box. It also allows him to get some shots off, win some headers, all the good stuff. But another thing we've seen recently in the past month, which for me has been by far and away the most eye-catching, is his set pieces. No, I'm not talking about scoring set pieces, I'm talking about Declan Rice taking corners, Declan Rice taking free kicks to cross in. He has become a set piece specialist. I never thought I'd say that about Declan Rice. Not because I didn't think he had that in his locker, but I just never thought he would be needed to be taking set pieces in a team that has Saka, that has Ødegaard, that has a lot of set-piece specialists. You have Declan Rice taking most of the corners from the left-hand side and most of the free kicks from the left-hand side because obviously Declan Rice is right-footed. And the thing is, we are getting tons of goals from Declan Rice's set pieces. Now, yes, our set-piece coach has a lot to do with that, but Declan Rice taking set pieces so well, I never thought I would see a day in my life, but here we are. So outside of being one of the best CDMs in the world, outside of being one of the best box-to-box midfielders in the world, now you add on the fact that he can score goals and take set pieces for you. He is becoming better and better. The evolution of Declan Rice is outstanding. The growth we've seen in 8 months at Arsenal is amazing. Again, he came into Arsenal from West Ham primarily as a holding midfielder that can just control the game, control the tempo, and we saw that for a little bit throughout the season. But again, as he has progressed with Arsenal and as Arteta has found a new role for him, you could see why Arteta was basically begging for the board to get Declan Rice. He is so versatile and he is so good at what he does. There aren't too many players in world football that can be so versatile in the midfield, that can play so many different roles. Also, don't forget, Declan Rice has had stints this season as a centre-back. Yes, as a centre-back. So Declan Rice can play holding, can play box-to-box. He's not a great centre-back, I'm gonna say that, but he is serviceable if need be, for example. There are so many things to love about Declan Rice and love about his evolution at the club. Arteta has done such a good coaching job on Declan Rice. You can see Declan Rice's mindset change over the past couple months. And on top of all of that, you have Arteta coming out saying that Declan Rice is a potential captain candidate one day in the future. And you can see that. Not only does Declan Rice lead the team with his voice, and you could just see it every time the camera pans to Declan, he's always talking, he's always shouting at teammates. But on top of all that, he leads by example. He presses so well, he works so hard, he can score goals, he can take set pieces, he can win balls in the air, he can fight for loose balls. Declan Rice is by far and away one of our best players of the season. Arguably our best player of the season. Him and Saka, it's up for grabs. For me, I'm edging Declan Rice, but Bukayo has been just as good. Declan Rice has been amazing this season, and the evolution that we've seen at Arsenal from Declan Rice is jaw-dropping to say the least. But yeah guys, that's the video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about Declan Rice this season so far? What do you guys think about his evolution at Arsenal? Let me know in the comments below. Please be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.